Am I the asshole for telling my pregnant girlfriend off BCS she forgot to bring me food? Okay, so I'm new to Reddit, but I'm RLLY lost RN and I need advice. I don't even know if I'm doing this right. 22M. Got a one-night stand, 21F, pregnant. She refused to get an abortion but got kicked out of her parents' house. She confronted me at it, so now she lives with me. My parents were angry too. BCS we were irresponsible but came around eventually. They cut off all financial support because we need to be independent now. Except for the house that they ALR paid for years ago, so no rent. Except if we RLLY need some, but only for the baby. BCS they didn't do anything wrong. Both I and my now girlfriend go to university, her online and me offline, to be closer to the factory I now work part-time in. While my girlfriend started a catering business so she can work from home. To save money to buy lunch. Usually she delivers the leftovers from that day over to me by a courier service. Sometimes she forgets, but my colleague's mom often packs him extra food which he offers to me, so I just remind her and problem over. This one time my colleague called in sick when she forgot, so I ended up doing labor with no lunch. When I got home I saw my lunch sitting on the kitchen counter which she forgot to courier. I told her off kind of grumpily. BCS I was starving. Turns out it slipped her mind. BCS her friend came over. Clarification. I didn't yell at her or anything, I just went, "Will you please set a reminder or something?" BC's this can't keep going on, in a rather exasperated tone, which I apologized for after I cooled down. Me and my girlfriend talked apt it and we're okay now, but her friend wasn't happy. She told me that I can't be expecting my 5-month pregnant girlfriend to feed me and clean the house. Clarification. The house my parents gave us was an old house which ALR had a Roomba, so there's no need for her to do any work that's too tiring, but there is some laundry and dishes. Also we split the chores on weekends since I have some free time. Am I toxic? Am I the a-hole? And if I am, any advice on how to fix it is very much appreciated. Clarification. It's not the first time it happened, it's happened a few times now. Clarification. I used to order takeout because I need to leave the house at 6 a.m. But after my girlfriend started her business, I noticed that there is usually quite some leftovers, so I suggested that she send them over to me for lunch and the rest for dinner. Edit. I might have given the impression that she does all the chores, when I do try to pull my weight too. She does cook once a day, do the dishes, and do the laundry on weekdays, but I do everything else. I will talk to her about it and ask her how she really feels about the work she has, and if it's too much then we'll find a solution together that doesn't involve her overworking. I'll be very willing to do more work than I do now to make her feel more comfortable. And it's only been almost a month that we've been doing this, so if it's not too much I do ask for you all to know that I'm not being this bad at it on purpose. But thank you all so much for the feedback. I'll definitely talk to her about the division of our workload. And I'll also apologize to her again tonight and make her feel special. Maybe a foot massage or a home spa day would make her feel better. Okay, girlfriend here to share the actual story. I just woke up from my nap to our laptop's notifications going wild, and turns out he has explained our situation the worst way possible onto Reddit and was practically asking to be called an asshole. Okay, so we met at a club and we were both heartbroken because his girlfriend of 5 years wanted a break because she had no time for him and my boyfriend cheated on me. We slept together and used a condom and parted ways. I then found out that I was pregnant and got kicked out of my parents' house. I thought I could handle it at first and supported myself by starting a catering business since it's always been my dream to have a career in food. But when I reached the 4th month I was struggling, so I looked for him. When I found him, he was just reunited with the love of his life, but she broke up with him because she didn't like the fact that he would be the father to someone else's child, and moved out at once. His parents were also pretty angry too, but thankfully came around, so they're not really worth too much discussing. He took me in and was really nice about it, though it was really awkward at first because we didn't know each other. He took it amazingly. I actually thought he had no emotions with how nicely he took it, if not for the fact that I could hear him crying in the shower. Because if he had stayed with his past girlfriend he would still be heir to inherit the girlfriend's dad's company with a girlfriend who has the face and body of a literal K-pop idol and studies biochemistry in the country's best university on scholarship to later inherit her mom's company, and they've been dating for 5 years. But he chose to take responsibility of me. Even if he doesn't show it, if I were him it would absolutely destroy me. He began to work at a factory part-time after university. Going out at 6 and only coming in at 8 to make his projects on the balcony to not disturbing my sleep. Every day he gets around 5 hours of sleep on the couch. The bed is for one and doesn't fit two people. If I don't have any midnight cravings, which he insists in preparing for me if I have any. He used to do everything including the chores, work, and uni until he collapsed during work of overworking and now requires medication for his stress. But never once did he complain to me, instead listening to my rants of eating the same food for days because I have too much leftovers, to which he suggested he help finishing them by me couriering the food over, which takes up only 70 cents. This whole time I've been getting twice the amount of sleep he has and enough spare time to actually be bored, while he only gets a humane amount of sleep during the weekends. So I started putting the dishes into the dishwasher and the laundry into the laundry machine, and the ironing if he ever lets me. The only thing I'm annoyed with that is he didn't believe me when I said I was fine and turned to Reddit while explaining only the bad sides of him. Also that my so-called friend who's so keen on toxic feminism that she thinks that being a mother is degrading as a woman because we don't make any money made him feel so guilty for calling me out on something that I did mistake on. That was also very easily solved with me making a reminder. So we will be having a very long talk about this, but he's a fool if he thinks I will let him take any more things due to than he already has, because I don't even think that's possible. But I really do want to thank everyone here for their feedback given the way he explained our situation. Especially to the person who suggested he ate the leftovers from the day before. We might just take up on that one. Yes, you are the asshole. She's not your mother or your caretaker. She's your pregnant, working girlfriend. She forgot to send you food once. You're a grown adult. Learn to make your own meal and fend for yourself. You need to learn how to be an adult, especially with a kid on the way. Yikes. Lol at she doesn't have to do any tiring work because there is a Roomba. Dude, can the Roomba cook? Do dishes? Do the laundry? Spread the bed? Clean countertops? Mop? Clean the toilet? Do shopping? One thing slipped her mind and you went off. Apologize. I bet she apologized too. You are the asshole. You are the asshole. We split the chores so I have some free time. You have time to do meal prep for the week. You even mentioned that you need to be independent. Maybe making your own lunch instead of relying on your girlfriend to constantly feed you is a good start. Start treating your girlfriend like your girlfriend instead of a carer. You have a child on the way, grow up. You are the asshole. You are an adult. If you can't manage to feed yourself when someone forgets to give you food, you really aren't ready to be a dad. If this makes you huffy, then you really need to brace yourself for when baby arrives. Info. Is there a reason you can't make your own lunch? Yeah, I'm sorry mate, you are the asshole. It happens, you're a grown man my guy. I make my lunch in the morning. If y'all wanna eat, you'll ensure you've got the food with you in a lunchbox. Huge, you are the asshole. 1. You are old enough to take care of your own lunch. Meal prep. Buy something or get roadkill, idgaff. It's your responsibility, not your girlfriend's. 2. How much is the cost of sending you food? You are saving up for a baby, and this is easily a cost that can be cut if you meal prep or plan ahead your own food. 3. Having a Roomba doesn't mean chores are 50% done. 4. Grow the hell up. Sorry, you are the asshole. She's pregnant, and while a one-night stand was up to you guys to do, no shame. Extra precautions should have happened to prevent things getting out of control. Regardless, you getting angry at your wife isn't valid as she's pregnant, and the issue isn't that major to valid that kind of response. Am I the asshole for shouting at a store manager? I, 24F, went to a local supermarket the other day and forgot one item. The supermarket isn't that far away from my home, but I was busy with grad school and work, so I asked my uncle, 50 SM, who lives nearby the supermarket, to get it for me, so I WhatsApped him the receipt and circled the item. Now my uncle is a nice Pakistani bloke who usually wears a shalwar kameez with a Kashmiri hat and is a very sweet man. He went to the store, was sent to the manager, then another manager, then a store clerk, only to be rejected that the picture of the receipt isn't acceptable. I was attending a class then, so couldn't attend the call when he tried to contact me. Later on, he tried again and got the same treatment. So yesterday was a Saturday and I was free, so I decided to go there myself. The receipt had gotten wet that day because it was raining, and I think I threw it away while I was putting all my groceries in place. I went up to one of the managers and all I was able to say, "Hi, I forgot an item the other day. I have the picture of the receipt." To which he said, "What item?" I told him the name of the item, and then he ordered one of the store clerks to get said item, ring it for me and give it to me, then he walked off. I was utterly shocked, and while I waited for the item, I called my uncle and asked him again about what happened in the store, and he reconfirmed that they made him go from manager to manager only to be rejected. By this time the item had arrived and I took it and walked back up to the manager. I yelled at him how he could racially profile my uncle. Was the fact that I was wearing a shirt and jeans and could pass off as white makes me look trusting. He looked at me dumbfounded and claimed it was probably some other manager and he treats all customers the same. I told him I don't care, my uncle went through 2 managers and he was walking around the store with a picture of the receipt yet still was sent home with nothing, and all I did was say hello and got what I asked for without even anyone looking at the receipt. He apologized and I just walked off angry. I then visited my uncle and told him the story and he just laughed it off, saying he probably thought I was pretty girl and he isn't pretty enough to get such treatment. But still, was I wrong here? Am I the asshole? Edit. Although I'll accept my judgment either way, but there are some details I forgot and some to add. The item I received was of a different flavor that I bought, so same product, same price but a different flavor. It was a 15-pack of Capri Suns. I bought orange, they gave me mango instead. Then I talked to a friend who used to work in another branch of the supermarket chain and asked him about it. He said there are 2 managers at each shift during the weekdays, and 1 during the weekend, and they rotate managers every weekend, so it is likely that I shouted at the wrong guy. He also said items left behind are taken to the back of the store where they are kept on a shelf for some time, so if someone comes back claiming they left behind said item they can check for it there. He thought it was strange they gave me a different flavor, which probably means they sold my Capri Suns or someone took it. Either way, he does agree that my uncle was racially profiled, as both of us should have gotten the same treatment. You are the asshole. You have no idea who spoke to your uncle, but you chose this guy as a representative of all store employees to take the heat. Sounds like, how you say, profiling. You are the asshole. You screamed at and profiled a person as a racist, even though it may not have been him, and he stated as much. Someone who was helpful to the point of fault, really. I'm dumbfounded about the stupidity that you need to even post here. You go on about racially profiling and you are guilty of the same thing because he was white. Have a look in the mirror, but I don't think you will like what you see. A bigoted, racist. You are the asshole for you and whichever store managers treated your uncle badly. Because the other way to write this story is, I went off on a retail worker who possibly had nothing to do with the poor treatment my uncle received. You haven't got a clue whether the person you yelled at and accused of racism is the person who gave your uncle the runaround. Sure, stand up for your uncle. By calmly telling the manager what happened when your uncle came in and that it's unacceptable and that you want it addressed with the manager who was on, and or putting it in writing to the store, as they will be able to address who was actually responsible for the different treatment. You are the asshole. You yelled at someone that may have nothing to do with it. Considering you were not there with your uncle, you may have been yelling at the wrong manager. You should maybe ask your uncle to return to the store with you and find out who was on duty when this happened and report whoever it is. Is it possible they recognized you as the woman who left an item behind at checkout? You are the asshole. You screamed at some minimum wage dude that had nothing to do with anything. If any of this even really happened. YTA. Because you went off on someone who may have never even seen your uncle. Call corporate next time. What you should have actually done was call the store and let them know what happened and about the receipt. They could have had that ready for you at the desk. Stop telling at people in customer service. Am I the asshole for telling someone they deserve their life ruined? When I was 16, I moved with my dad and his then boyfriend, now husband's, hometown. About 2 weeks and 2 girls who I will name Amy and Betty started picking on me, but in a nice mean girl way, like, oh, your top is so cute, I'd love one, but I don't think they do my size. As the weeks went on it got worse. Here's a few examples. While I was in the shower putting all my clothes in a toilet, making fun of me by hiding food when I walked by and pretending there was an earthquake, putting our cruel rumors like I was pregnant by 5 different boys, that's why I was so big, cutting off my whole ponytail and then putting it by my butt while they made pig sounds, putting red stuff on a chair so when I got up it looked like I got my period, taking one of photos and putting my face on a pig's body. There's a whole lot more. The 2 times I told the school about it, alone. I first was told that I must be doing something to trigger them off. The second time they were called into the office, we were basically told, ladies don't like this, and sort our drama out ourselves. 2 hours later they cut off my ponytail. I was too scared to talk to my dad, so a little family therapy later I broke down and told them everything. Next day my dad went to the school threatening a lawsuit if something wasn't done. They both got suspended for a week and had to plant flowers. The social media posts and messages got so bad I had to move in with my grandparents 1,000 miles away. I blocked them both on social media, went to therapy and learned to love myself enough to trust people, friends, soon-to-be husband. But still nearly 11 years on, I'm not over what they did to me. Recently I got a lot of messages from people I've never even met before about my story. Apparently Amy has a bit of TikTok following and her whole stick is exposing bullies, mental health, women supporting each other. She made a post about her high school ex calling him out for being toxic, and he made a TikTok with old texts and photos, videos. I got tired of the messages, couldn't go private as it's also my business page. So after 4 days I explained via Facebook my whole story and told people not to contact me anyone about the situation. Later my fiancé got a message from Betty to please take it down as she is a teacher now, and another from Amy to unblock her so she can talk to me. I unblocked Amy expecting an apology, but I was met with her telling me she had an ed and her parents were divorcing, that's why she did it. She was gonna sue me for defamation as I was ruining her life. I replied, "You deserve everything you're getting. Karma is a nasty bitch and I hope you lose everything." I've a bit of any update. People have shared my story and screenshots of the TikTok and posted them on the Facebook page of the school Betty works at. I've been contacted by a student's mother expressing her concern over Betty's actions, and I was truthful with how she messaged my fiancé. Amy made a TikTok saying we were good and we made up years ago, but obviously people saw my post along with a screenshot of her bullshit excuses. She has since deleted her TikTok account and as far as I know her Facebook account too. I'm going to take a break from social media and go camping for some R&R. Hopefully everything will have died down by the time I came back. You can't ruin a reputation by making it more accurate. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It's also not defamation if she actually did it. Remember, you just described what she did, that's all. Not the asshole. If they never bullied you, they would never have had this issue arise. The fact that Amy is trying to join the anti-bully movement while clearly having never attempted to apologize for the bullying she did makes her look fake. None of them even attempted to apologize to try and encourage you to remove the post. I am glad your life is better and that you have good people around you, and hope one day with help you can move past a painful childhood caused by people like these two. Not the asshole. I'm so sorry that happened to you. That was extreme bullying that resulted in lifelong repercussions for you. You didn't pursue them or seek revenge, which you easily could have done. You spoke about this only to clear the air and stop the messages from strangers. And now the truth of their actions is out. If Amy had apologized profusely and then asked you to take down the post, I'd consider taking it down. But instead she is blaming you rather than taking responsibility for her actions. Betty is basically doing the same. I think you have a right to speak about your experience, especially since Amy is doing this very ironic TikTok scene. I'm sorry for my grammar, but my hands are shaking. As you said, karma is a bitch. Good on you, girl, and I hope you don't feel guilty. But I sincerely wish you can get over your trauma now, as you have suffered long enough. Love from France. Peace. I also believe in the power of forgiveness, not for their sake but yours. I personally find that it helps the soul heal. Now you have said your piece, maybe you can find that strength in you? Not the asshole. Wow, that was high-level bullying. Cutting off your ponytail? Can you imagine one holding you down while the other had scissors by your head? This is assault and the school were pathetic. Not the asshole. You poor thing, I hope you're learning to feel better about yourself. You have so much to live for and to be happy about. Am I the asshole for wanting to sue my husband's sister for losing my 2K camera at the beach? My 26 female sister-in-law 20 female moved in with me and my husband weeks ago cause of problems with her boyfriend. She isn't planning on going back till he apologize, even though she broke his Xbox device in an argument. I'm a blogger. I have small space in our apartment, sort of like my office but very small, where I work for hours. Sister-in-law always enters the room and takes stuff and not return them, resulting in me replacing them till I got a lock. She was going to the beach with some friends to let off some steam and asked if she could borrow my 2K video camera to record the trip, but I declined and explained that I was working in the weekend and would need it. I got done with my project and left my camera at the desk. When I woke up the next day at 9 a.m. and had a shower then breakfast, I entered my office and didn't find my camera. I freaked out and my husband told me to calm down cause his sister took it with her to the beach. He assured me it was in safe hands, but I kept worrying about it and was upset by the fact she took it and he gave her the key. She got back at 7 p.m. and was pissed, talking about getting in fight with her boyfriend after seeing him with someone at the beach and it ruined her day. She started crying loudly and cussing him out. I asked for my camera back. She said she didn't have it. She left angry after the encounter and forgot her sunglasses, cream, hat and my camera at the beach. Her friend, Aiden, picked some of the stuff and brought it back, but the camera apparently got stolen. I started yelling, calling her irresponsible and reckless, and this was $2K camera she left behind. She started apologizing, then tried to blame it on her now ex-boyfriend for getting her into a fight with the girl he was with. I said I need the camera for my work and she had to replace it like yesterday. My husband got involved and said it wasn't her fault it got stolen and suggested I get a cheaper camera from Amazon for now till I can afford to buy new one. I said what? Why should I buy a replacement when it was his sister who lost it? She took it without permission and was responsible for whatever happened afterwards. He tried to make excuses for her being an emotional mess. I said I have no problem suing her. He asked if I was serious and I said yes because I've worked hard to get this camera and my work's always been known to be of high quality, so for him to suggest a cheap cam from Amazon was offensive. He said he was just trying to help fix the problem, but I said he was just helping his sister avoid responsibility. Both him and his sister aren't speaking to me anymore, so suddenly claiming they're giving me time to calm down where in fact they're cold shouldering me, making me feel guilty for saying that. I'm not sure if doing this will be morally the thought thing since she's family, as my husband says. Am I the asshole? Edit. Someone here mentioned the possibility of her friend Aiden taking it, which is a possibility, but when I requested to speak to him about what happened, my sil said I was wrong to hint that he took the camera even though I just wanted to ask him few questions. She told me to leave him out of it since she trusts him with her stuff. Not the asshole. Sue her. File first thing Monday morning. If your husband isn't on board, tell him that he and his sister need to go until they're ready to apologize and make things right. If necessary, file a police report since she stole your camera by taking it without permission. She asked if she could borrow the camera and you told her no, and she did it anyway. Your husband enabled this violation of your boundaries by his sister and then tried to invalidate your feelings on it. I think you are well within your rights to demand that she leave immediately, and say that she is no longer welcome in your house. It's probably also time to tell your husband that the two of you need counseling, and if he doesn't agree to go, then you should consult a divorce attorney. Not the asshole first, you need to file a report with the police. Then inform your sil and your partner that if they don't apply for a small loan and replace your camera and lens, then a lawsuit will be filed in 14 working days. Put the both of them in their place so that they never disrespect your property again. Ps. I would love an update on the final outcome. Not the asshole, but there's a bigger issue here. Much bigger. Your husband does not respect you and is willing to let his sister step all over you and your career. That is wrong. His sister is an adult, but it sounds like she acts like a 12-year-old. Seems like she's not used to being held accountable by anyone. You're not the asshole for holding her accountable. And you deserve to have that camera replaced free of charge to you. Not the asshole. Does he always do this? Help her avoid responsibility? Because yikes. $2K is a lot to lose. She shouldn't have stolen it from you. Not the asshole. Your sil is irresponsible, a liar, and a thief. She's lucky that you're not reporting the theft, because that's grand larceny, and borrowing without permission is stealing. Your husband and her seem to not understand that the camera was stolen twice. Honestly, I think your best bet to get your camera replaced is filing a claim with your homeowner's renter's insurance. She's never gonna pay it, even if you get a judgment, and suing her or reporting the theft will likely break your marriage. Having said that though, I'm not sure how much you want to stay with someone who doesn't understand that a cheap camera off Amazon isn't a band-aid for a $2,000 camera, let alone one you use for work. Not the asshole, but your sil and husband are. Your husband shouldn't never have given her the key against your wish or without confirming with you first. For the sil, she stole it from you knowing you said no and didn't even took care of it. If your husband is so adamant about not making the sister pay for it, it should pay it himself. $2K isn't a small sum and the sil should stop feeling entitled to your stuff. I'm so shocked they are claiming you are in the wrong. You need to get rid of the boyfriend as well, sue and get the money back. The camera is priceless. Not the asshole. Tell your husband if his thieving sister, you said no so she stole it, doesn't pay up for the camera, he had better start selling his personal valuables until he can get the money himself. If he feels outraged at the idea of losing his own things, maybe that might be what he needs to wake the F up to the seriousness of what his sister did and how you feel. He's lucky you aren't reporting it stolen, because it was. It's impossible to borrow something when someone has explicitly refused you permission.